So Carl launched his non-alcoholic bar and he's calling it Soft Bar. Is that about Lindsay? Is that about the soft from last season? Because as much as I was not all team Lindsay, fuck Carl, and saw his points, I did not appreciate. I was going to say I did not alike when he said, "I need you to be softer." I also had a visceral reaction to that. It reminded me of someone going, "Smile," like. Don't tell me to be softer. You can say, I don't like the tone you use when you say X, Y, and Z. You could pretty much say anything else, but just the demand to soften was like, I don't like that. I understood what he was trying to say, but he also caught a lot of flack for that and even seemed like traumatized from the flack in the after show. At one point, he's like, and I've come to learn that you should not say soft. And Kyle in the after show was like, why? Well, according to Lindsay, apparently women don't like that. I'm like, well, no, you're acting like you don't have a clue as to why. Don't fake apologize. But he seemed like he knew and was aware that it wasn't our favorite word. And then he calls it soft bar. That has to be about that, right? I get it. Soft bar, softball, bar, hard. I don't know. Okay. They filmed an event. It looks like it's like a pop-up soft bar. Like there's not a brick and mortar. Like it's a pop-up. I don't know. I don't think it's the worst idea. I just don't know. It's really hard to make a profit when you don't have that liquor upsell because the markup on liquor is crazy and lucrative. And that's honestly what keeps restaurants afloat because the profit margin is razor thin in restaurants. So I don't know. I obviously just hope he does well. But a soft bar? Is that about us, Carl? Anyhow, okay. So as you know, we are doing, maybe you don't know, we are doing an episode a week. However, episode 2, it didn't have enough meat in it. So when I finished watching it, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get a decent recap out of this. So I'm going to do episodes 2 and 3 today. Okay, let's do it. Okay, they gave us a cliffhanger. And did I not say, I was like, this is such a silly cliffhanger. Summer House is very guilty of doing this. Summer House does manipulate their trailers a lot to completely change a narrative. And they do a lot of like, ooh, cliffhanger to nothing. That is definitely a Summer House staple. But they gave us a cliffhanger of Carl saying, I love you. And Lindsay going, what do you mean? And he was not about to get serious. So then they pick up on that. And he literally, it was like this. I love you. You're amazing. I realize that you're a special person and we have an amazing time. I want to be in your life as much as I can. And that's it. I'm not worried about anything else. We're good. We're best friends. Kisses her. I'm glad we waited a week for that. Glad you guys showed us that. But he's being very vague, very careful with his language. I feel like at this point, we know Lindsay had a crush on Carl already because last season I was picking up on that. When he was hitting on Paige, Lindsay was getting jealous, even though she would never admit that. And she keeps calling him her best friend. He's my best friend. It's giving Sheena. He's my best friend. It's like you just met him in Summer House. So it's, it's 2 years now that you've been friends, but he's your best friend. But I can we've seen the crush. The crush was there. So I think Lindsay's trying to play it off like she's not super into it because she's scared and she's testing to see where he's at. And he's answering in ways that do not satisfy her, but she will kind of keep poking until she gets something that does. And he will keep obliging because he's a people pleaser. And it's literally carbon copy what we just witnessed in their serious relationship in just a different scale. We'll keep going. It's time to pack up, go to the city. Kyle looks miserable. He looks like he's going out to his death. Like, then in the city, then Kyle and Amanda in the city. What's he complaining about? Oh, shock. He's complaining about Amanda not doing any social media for Loverboy. Literally, the exact same thing he's been saying this past season. 4 years now. Because see, that was season 8 we just had, right? This is season 4. This relationship is worse than I remembered. But Kyle brings up Loverboy, and he has a tone. He's got that tone to him. And she is like, I'm stressed and I don't appreciate you adding to it and adding on to the pressure of what I'm already feeling. I know I got to do shit, but like, I got my job. I need to, whatever. And he goes, it's only going to get worse. How does someone have a full-time job also raise a family? How many kids do you want? And it's just so unproductive. It's so they've needed a therapist for a minute to teach both of them how to communicate. She is no better. But Amanda goes, I don't plan on working much at that time. And Kyle's like, all the more reason. Now, here's where I then start to side with Kyle because I don't understand. Maybe it's their age difference, but I don't understand her total lack of urgency. I mean, is she making enough money at her current job? And is she doing just fine? Does she not want to leave? Because I don't think I've ever figured that out. She may get into that, but she's got a job. She's got a full-time job. And Kyle's like, well, if you want to get serious about the future, you need to quit your job and join my company or work harder for my company. I'm assuming he's paying her. I was going to say I was siding with Kyle, but like Amanda just doesn't have a lot of action. But then as I say that, I'm like, but she's the one with the job. So like, sorry, she doesn't want to stop chilling at home to work on Loverboy. I don't know. I think I need more information. If he's paying her for Loverboy, that would be interesting. I don't know if he is paying her for Loverboy. I kind of doubt it. And she's expected to do all this shit for Loverboy because he's like, well, if you want a future and you don't want to work when you have kids. Okay, never mind. I'm not Team Kyle on this. Never mind. Fuck Kyle. Lindsay and Carl's first date. Carl plans it on the roof of her building, which was actually cute and sweet because it showed planning. It showed whatever. So they play this like newlyweds type game to like break the ice. Like, what's your favorite sex position? But then Carl asks if she's wanting to settle down like in the next year and a half, let's say. Lindsay, who is already slurring, is like, I've been looking to settle down, so I need to know that this is going in that direction in order for me to actually take anything seriously. And Carl goes, I respect that. But then Lindsay's like, and I'm not talking about you. And Carl's like, you were absolutely talking about me. That was the most passive-aggressive thing you've ever said to me. Like, we're off to a great start. Now, Carl is sort of here making an excuse before anything even starts. So he's like, I want to explore with you or explore you and me. All I'm saying is I'm scared. Now, Lindsay obviously is like, what are you scared about? Everything with commitment is very scary to me. And Lindsay says exactly kind of what he should be saying to himself. Well, then go be single and have fun. Lindsay's just said to you, oh, and also over and over again, she said this to you, not just here, but over the weekend. Like, she has said this. We're best friends, so I can't just do this casually and see where it goes. I need to know that you're in. Like, we're going to do it. And he still thinks he can pull the, oh, commitment freaks me out sort of thing. And so she's like, okay, well, here we go back to, let's go be single and have some fun then. But then what does Carl do? But I'm having fun with you at the same time. I'm afraid to get into relationships because of my family. It feels like a line. It does feel like an excuse. It does. Go get some therapy then, dude, and work on it. Then don't pursue Lindsay. You can't just go and be in a relationship with somebody and expect them to be like, but he's got all these issues with his family. So, I don't know, when he feels like getting over those, he's going to be cool with commitment. No, dude. And so he's like, I don't want to fuck everything up. And Lindsay is just not here for it. She's like, Carl, look at me. Then don't fuck it up. And he's like, I know, but it haunts me. And she's like, I have family stuff too, and I don't have commitment issues. And Carl tries to be like, but I'm excited to see where this goes. And Lindsay just stares at him. And she's like, but you have commitment issues. I don't like, yes, her delivery here is crazy, but I do somehow see her point in this. And Carl is playing, maybe he doesn't even realize that's what he's doing, but he's playing like, what do you mean? I just said I have commitment issues. What's the problem? Exactly. I don't want to deal with someone with fucking commitment issues. Can you go get some therapy so I'm not dealing with it? And he's like, I don't give you shit when you're being vulnerable. And Lindsay goes, I don't make excuses. And then that sets him up. What? It's not a fucking excuse. And then, can you calm down? And he's still yelling, it's not an excuse. Can you just say, Carl, it isn't an excuse? Lindsay's now standing up. I need you to calm down because I'm not going to apologize when someone is yelling at me. And then they keep talking back and forth. And you need to stop fucking yelling at me and calm the fuck down and take a lap. I'll take a lap. And then she takes a lap. She takes a lap. Clearly a producer's like, okay, Lindsay, go talk to him. Like, producer's like, okay, go back to the scene. She goes back to the scene. They kind of make up. It's like, okay, we're good. Honestly, from Lindsay's perspective, she has said what she needs to say. I'm not looking for this to be like casual, maybe, whatever. I've told you this is what I want. I'm really uncomfortable or nervous about your little, I have a commitment fear because of my family shit, because I don't want to have to be waiting around for you to figure that out. And Carl is like, okay, I just don't want to fight anymore. Lindsay's confessional, though, is very Lindsay. She goes, I know Carl better than he knows himself. He's just scared. That's also part of the issue, is that there's the potential again. And I'm still sticking with Lindsay fell in love with Carl's potential, but not Carl himself as he was, because Carl was not much different in that relation in their last go around. He's never been Mr. Career guy, got it all together. And she was sort of expecting that from him. And I was like, where have you met Carl? But she kept thinking, but he could be this. He could be this. And this line, I know Carl better than he knows himself. He's just scared. It's like, okay, so you're still kind of potentialing him, like loving his potential. But he's told you, he's made it opaque how he feels, which is he likes hanging out, but he's got commitment issues. So boom. This has been a preview of a Patreon exclusive. If you would like to hear all of the Summer House coverage, check out the Patreon at the link in the description. Make sure you sign up to be a Grand Dame or The Moment in order to get access to all the bonus content. So come check out the Patreon. Love to have ya. No matter what, queens. Love you. Mean it. See you soon.